Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Education meeting. Today is Monday, January 7th. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Rise with us, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all. Can you call the roll for us, please, Julie?
Sure. Baker.
Here.
Falb.
Here.
LeGrand.
Here.
Lanier.
Present.
Moody.
Present.
O'Connor.
Here.
Randalls.
Present.
Ross.
Here.
And Slade.
Here. Thank you. I need a motion to approve the agenda we have before us.
Motion to approve the agenda is written.
Support. You get those motions and support, Julie? Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We have an agenda before us. We will start with the oath of office for our new board members. Mr. LeGrand and Reverend Moody, if you can both come to the front. We'll do you one at a time, if you don't mind. We'll start with Mr. LeGrand, just do it in alphabetical order. And if you have family members who are interested in coming down to take pictures, they're welcome to do so. So we'll start with you then, Mr. LeGrand. If you can raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly affirm.
I'm sorry, I messed that whole thing up, even though I have notes here. I do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education
of member of the Board of Education
of the Grand Rapids Public Schools
of the Grand Rapids Public Schools
in Grand Rapids, Michigan,
in Grand Rapids, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Congratulations. Next, I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Michigan,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of member of the Board of Education
of the office of members of the Board of Education
of the Grand Rapids Public Schools
of the Grand Rapids Public Schools
in Grand Rapids,
in
Michigan,
Grand Rapids, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you so much. Welcome aboard, gentlemen, and it's good to have you here with us at the table. The two of you have been to enough board meetings that you probably have no questions, but if you do, we're all here to help and support you. Our first order of business is the election of officers, and the first thing we have to do is elect a temporary chairperson. And so you just nominate a temporary chairperson to oversee this process.
I nominate Ms. Lanier as temporary chairperson.
Thank you.
Support.
Okay, so did you get those? Okay, I'm just making sure you have them, Julie, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign? Okay, so we can get we can move on through the election of officers. The next thing we have to do is nominate a temporary secretary, and I nominate Julie Anderson to be our temporary secretary to get through all of the writing that needs to happen during this time.
Support. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign? Okay, so we have a temporary secretary who will be recording. Our first order of business is the office of president.
Okay.
Julie, can you please go over the names that were submitted for this office?
Ms. Slade nominated Dr. Falb.
Will there be any other nominations for office of president? So now we will call the roll.
Baker.
Yes.
Falb.
Yes.
LeGrand.
Yes.
Lanier.
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
O'Connor,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
So the motion was by Ms. Slade, supported by, who made this, who's second here this evening?
I'll second.
Okay, that was Ross, that Dr. Wendy Falk is our president for our 2013 calendar year. And let me give the disclaimer to the audience. This sheet of paper is so confusing. So I'm just working through it the best of my ability.
You're doing well.
Thank you. Okay,
Does the chair? No.
yes, matter of fact, yeah, you're welcome to take over at this point. We've had it both ways, so. Switch with you. I think I have one.
The next office is that of Vice President. We received one nomination, formally written nomination by the deadline at 4:30 by myself for Dr. Tony Baker as Vice President. Are there any other nominations being offered tonight?
Yes, as you would see at your desk and what was emailed this afternoon, there is a nomination for Ms. Slade from Sunita Linear.
President Fall, first of all, I really like that I got to say that first. So anyway, I'd like to withdraw my name for nomination for Vice President.
Okay, thank you. Any other nominations under consideration? Okay, motion to close nominations?
So moved.
I would actually make it, what was the deadline time?
You have until this evening to make a nomination.
The bylaws stated, our current bylaws state that sitting members are able to make a written nomination 4:30, 5 days previous, and newly elected members and current members can also make nominations on the floor the night of.
So anyone can make a nomination night of?
Mhm.
Got it. Okay,
Correct.
thanks.
Ready for the roll call?
Well, by unanimous vote, I think we have Ms. Slade as our,
Should I make it official? Baker,
Yes.
Feld,
yes.
LeGrand,
Yes.
Lanier,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
O'Connor,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Slade.
Our third office. Our third office is that of treasurer. We received a nomination, again, written, 4:30 deadline, by Mr. Ross, nominating Mr. O'Connor as treasurer of the board. I'll now open the floor for any other nominations. May I have a motion to close nominations at this time? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You want to do the vote?
Did you get a support?
Yes.
Let's let her call it.
All right. Baker,
Yes.
Feld,
Yes.
LeGrand,
Yes.
Lanier,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
O'Connor,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Slade.
Yes. And our last office is that of secretary. We received a written nomination by Ms. Lanier on Wednesday to nominate Ms. Slade. Now that she has been elected as vice president, I call for other nominations for secretary.
I also rescinded my nomination and in the enclosed document, and I nominate Mr. Ross for secretary.
All right. Roll
Any
call.
other nominations? Move to close nominations, anyone? Can I have a motion for that?
I move.
Second.
Close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Call the roll.
Baker,
Yes.
Feld,
Yes.
LeGrand,
Yes.
Lanier,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
O'Connor,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Slade.
Yes.
We have our officers for this year. Well, this is new. Next on the agenda, we have no celebrations, and we have no student representative to the board. So we have public comment for agenda items. Is there anyone here to make public comment on the agenda? I have no cards.
There is one card
Is there?
over there.
I have a card
But I don't know
here.
if
I'm not
it's
sure if
which
it's an
one it
agenda
is.
item.
Look to the
Mr.
right.
Helder, is that for an agenda? Okay. All right. Secretary's report.
Secretary.
I thought maybe you're, oh, that's right. Mr. Ross, do you have any report for us this evening?
Not that's been passed to me at this point, no.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Oh, well, I guess I will, probably I should make note of any parents we have in the building tomorrow night at Ottawa Hills, a senior parent night, 6 to 8 tomorrow, going over graduation requirements for current Ottawa Hills seniors. There will be food. There will also be childcare. So please pass that around to any families you know that have 12th graders in the district, period. This is not just for Ottawa seniors, but for seniors throughout the district.
Thank you very much. Madam Superintendent.
I would like to just make one correction, and that's going to be Wednesday night at Ottawa Hills.
Oh,
on the
Wednesday, I
9th.
apologize. Thank you.
Wednesday night
The 9th,
for
yeah.
seniors. That's it.
No report this evening?
Report.
Oh, wow, this is going to be a short one. We have no action items. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support. Support. Might not know like you do.
Now, does Julie call the roll, or does
Julie
Mr.
will call
Ross?
the roll because she'll, yeah.
All right.
Baker,
Yes.
Feld,
Yes.
LeGrand,
Yes.
Lanier,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
O'Connor,
Yes.
Randalls,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Slade.
Yes.
No discussion items, and we are on to public comment for non-agenda items. We have one card.
Mr. Helder, please.
Jumping right into that.
I guess I'll use this as a
She's doing it.
Okay.
Good evening. And congratulations to all the new officers.
Yep.
Prepare to experience the extra joy involved with more work for nothing.
That's right.
So I'm going to keep tonight brief because apparently that's what we're doing. At the last board meeting, it was mentioned that the board was, at least I presume, I don't know, I asked the question and I asked for clarification, I didn't receive any, somehow or other dissatisfied with the Cambridge report's conclusion that the teaching staff was underpaid. Again, I don't know if that's really what was meant to be said or how that was communicated, but it was stated that an additional survey, a compensation study, would be done. I still think it's important for the board to clarify that because it's coming off like we didn't like the fact that it said this, so we were going to do another study until it says something else, which I don't think was the intent. I've had a little time to process it now. I'm guessing it is simply that the Cambridge report does not give you specific data regarding salaries across the county, and that's what you were looking for. At that meeting, I also stated that that study has already been done and exists. So you would not need to have money set aside to do extra studies. That money could instead be used for, you know, textbooks or athletics or anything else you want to do, something that services children, which I know my members would prefer. Beyond that, I guess what I will tell you is I brought copies enough of that study for all the board members, so you have some time to go ahead and look at that. My members have been working now, this is the 5th month without a contract, and that has to come to a stop at some point. I think your bargaining team is doing their best. They're certainly being very honest about what seems to be going on, which is good. We need to be honest with each other. So in that same spirit, even though this was prepared by Kent County's Education Association's staff comparing different contracts all across the county, I'm going to go ahead and just share all of the information we have on that with you for free. So it's not much of a Christmas present, but it's all I can afford right now. Thanks.
I've received another card. Katie? All right. Katie, have you made public comment before?
Once, or in regards with someone else
I'll
who
just
organized it. So
review the parameters. But first of all, thank you very much for being here and making public comment. It's very welcome to this board. You have 3 minutes. Julie's keeping the time tonight. She'll let you know when you have a minute left. All right? Thanks.
I just wanted to talk in regards to the kindergarten class sizes at Shawmut Hills Elementary. My son he's a second grader there now. 2 years ago, he had 32 kids in his classroom, and that's with one kindergarten teacher, and luckily she had a full-time parapro assisting her at the time. And then last year, again, in both the morning and the afternoon classes, there were 32 students in the morning and 32 students in the afternoon for one teacher. And she wasn't going to be offered a parapro at all, but then after Christmas break, a parapro started, but only part-time. Then after spring break, her class size spiked to 34 students in one of her class, and the district provided a parapro sub through PESG to assist her through the rest of that. Well, right now, we have switched from doing one teacher with AM PM kindergarten to 2 all-day, everyday classrooms. Each of those classrooms, as of today, we just got a new student enrolled today, has 30 students. We have 2 kindergarten teachers. They've been informed that they're not going to get any assistance. They're not going to get any parapro help, part-time or full-time. And I just think that that's, for lack of a better word, it's bogus to the kids. Those kids deserve way more than that. The teachers have to spend so much of their time educating some of their students on just the social skills that they can't focus on the students that are ready to learn. And if they had assistance in their classroom, even if it was just one parapro that bounced between both of the classrooms so they could have that extra help for half of the day, that would just be immensely helpful, because the parapro could help direct those children who need correcting while the teacher could focus on the academics. And I know that Ms. Neal has talked about wanting academic excellence, and we can't provide that if we don't support the staff. We can't expect our staff to educate our children if they don't have the resources that they need. And I mean, it's just really unfair. My daughter's a kindergartner there now, and that's why I'm speaking tonight, because now that there's 30 kids in her class, I mean, come on. 30 kids for one kindergarten teacher. Can you imagine spending a day as an individual with 30 kids, let alone 35-year-olds? Let's be more clear. It's just too much. It's too much to ask of them. And I've got friends from the preschool that my daughter went to that wanted to go to Shawmut Hills but saw the class sizes and decided against it and went to Walker Charter instead. And we're losing families because our class sizes are too high.
Superintendent, any comments for us this evening? No? Ms. Slade?
It's very happy to have 2 new people here, and I see one of our past board members in the audience. Pleased to see him here. But welcome to both of you. We look forward to having a great time. Do a lot of hard work. Thank you.
Mr. Ross?
I guess really the only thing I want to do is maybe speak a little complimentary of Dr. Baker. In the past year and a half, and I guess this comes up with him deciding to rescind whatever nomination for office he had earlier. And I think, I guess I just want to speak publicly because I think that sort of indicates the commitment that I've seen him exhibit to Grand Rapids Public Schools over the past year and a half. I'm not going to say I always agree with him or I always think he's right, but I do totally agree that he's always committed and doing what in his heart he thinks is best for GRPS. And I think that small gesture this evening, hopefully other people take note of that and realize that that regardless of what some perspectives may be, that the man is committed to what's best for GRPS. That's all.
Mr. LeGrand.
Well, while we're commenting on the new officers, I certainly hope that you'll do better in keeping the meetings shorter in the future, President Falb. This really dragged on tonight. Other than that, the one thing that I'd like to discuss in the future is a very minor thing, and the only thing that really came up tonight that I think is worth discussing, and that is, I think I said this before when I was being clocked. I don't myself like the beeper. I don't think it's very comment friendly. I actually don't like the red card either. I was on City Commission for a couple years, and George Hartwell did a great job, and I'm assuming still does a great job of being courteous to the people who are in front of him, and we can tell people who are commenting how long they have, and when they get to the end of the 3 minutes, we can tell them they're at the end of the 3 minutes, and I've never seen anybody disrespect that, but people can finish their thoughts, and I don't think we're all so massively busy that if somebody goes 3 minutes and 15 seconds, it's gonna the world's going to grind to a halt. So I'd like to see, I think that'd be an improvement in the civility of our public comment process. And that's very, very important to me, that we really make people feel welcome to make public comment. And frankly, for me, it's exciting to have about 10 times as many people in this audience as ever show up for a city commission meeting. So you all ought to go to a city commission meeting once in a while. If you care about the schools, you ought to care about the city government too. But the only other part of that, I guess, is that it rankles with my civil libertarian instincts to have to fill out a comment card to say what I want to talk about before a meeting also. This is a public meeting. If people want to come in here and talk about things, I don't feel like they should be implicitly or explicitly censored prior to making those comments. So I would prefer to get rid of the comment cards entirely. I understand they do serve some function. Finally, and this is just the perfectionist in me perhaps, but I'd like to get rid of the word non-agenda items. I'd like to get rid of that characteristic of the final public comment as non-agenda items only. I think it makes a world of sense to let people talk about agenda items at that spot also. So it's non-agenda. I think it ought to be non-agenda items and agenda items, because once everyone out there has heard us talk about things, they may well have things they want to say about what we just talked about. So I think it creates an odd situation to implicitly say that people can only talk about things that we haven't talked about at the end of the meeting, because I'd love to hear from people going forward. So that was a long time, and I'm glad I didn't
so
get
much
time.
for keeping the meeting short, David.
It's still not 7 o'clock.
Dr. Baker.
First, I'd like to thank Mr. Ross for his comments. I also am very excited that my friend David LeGrand is on the board, and he's been a supporter of people on this board and for Grand Rapids Public Schools for a long time. And I think that we'll be hearing a lot from Mr. LeGrand about his perspectives, but I think it's really important that I know that his goal is to make Grand Rapids Public Schools work good, and I'm very excited that he's a part of it, as is, I think, is true with Pastor Nathaniel Moody. And Nathaniel Moody has the distinct honor of being the only pastor in town to ask me to speak in his church. So, so I'm not sure what that says about Pastor Moody, but I did enjoy his visit to his church, and I am very happy that that he's a part of this board, and I'm very enthusiastic about the perspective that that he will bring and the leadership that he'll bring to the community as a result of his work with this board. So, looking forward to you being here. Thanks.
Ms. Lanier.
I'd like to welcome the new board members, Mr. LeGrand and Reverend Moody. Thank you so much for putting your name in the hat to run for the school board. It's exciting to have new perspectives on the board, and so we welcome you and look forward to working with you. And I'd also like to congratulate the officers. Let's see what changes. Wendy's change in role, but she's been an officer, but Maureen is a new coming officer, as well as Mr. Ross and as well as Mr. O'Connor, and all the time and energy that you guys have put into the work of the board for the time that you've been a part of it. I think you guys are more than capable of serving in the capacities that you all have been elected to, and thank you for being willing to serve, because it is an additional time commitment, and so it's great that you guys have decided to take that on. And to Dr. Baker, I'd like to just thank him for the work that he's been able to produce on this board since our first meeting. You definitely can tell that he's an advocate for public education, and he has served this district well by advocating on behalf of the students in this district. And so I'm very appreciative of the service that you've given to this district for the years that you've been here. Thank you.
No comment.
Welcome to our new board members, and congratulations to the officers. And I think in minor response to this, perhaps our new president can respond and fill in, or our superintendent can fill in Mr. Helder in regard to what the thought is behind this study. It's more a comprehensive look than simply, it's a positive move. It's not trying to find a new answer that we didn't like. It's trying to support teachers and make them feel that they are welcomed and supported, and there's more to the study than only looking at a compensation study and trying to find a better answer.
Pastor Moody.
First of all, I just want to say that it's a pleasure to be on this board with all of you, and I'm looking forward to being a team member and serving the city of Grand Rapids, the Grand Rapids Public School System. And from what I see, all of you have done a fantastic job, and I just want to be a part of that team. So thank you for allowing me to be at this table with all of you.
I guess I want to start out welcoming the new members and express my appreciation. You're both bringing proven leadership that you have in the community and rich perspective and expertise. And I believe this board and Grand Rapids Public Schools is very fortunate to have both of you willing to serve. And I think it's going to be a great year with both of you. I want to say something to the outgoing officers. Dr. Baker, your leadership on this board and in this community has made a real positive impact on the children of Grand Rapids, and all of us know that. And perhaps the most important role of the board is the evaluation. And last year, you developed a tool, your leadership regarding that. You used your professional expertise with data and with measurements to work with the superintendent and work with the board and do an outstanding job at building a beautiful tool that I think other boards could use as an example. And I'm hoping it ends up being in policy. I know it's being passed off to another expert in the area, so we are in good hands. But I want to thank you for that work, Dr. Baker. And Ms. Lanier, I have some serious shoes to fill, and I'm not talking about your fashion sense here. I want to thank you for very strong leadership through tumultuous times. A lot of change that has gone on, and you've been steady. And I appreciate it in a lot of ways, and I have a lot to learn from it, and I'll be looking to you for your help, and I think we'll be looking to see what leadership challenges you take on in the future. And I am especially looking forward to working more closely with you. Right? This meeting is adjourned.
Wow.